going to be more than a circle? Okay? That's the question. Okay, the question was, how could you have an angle that's more than a circle? The same way that you can have a track race that's more than 400 meters. You simply go more than one lap around the XY axis. So you have your sprint angle, which would be right there. There's your 30-yard dash or whatever. And then you might have another angle that does this. It goes around the circle and continues and stops in exactly the same place. Are those two races the same? No, one guy is a lot more tired than the other. All right? But they have the same starting point and ending point. That means they are coterminal angles. Coterminal angles have the same starting and finishing points, like the 400, 800 mile, 2 mile. Everybody starts at the same spot. Everybody finishes at the same spot. All those races. But obviously they all do different things. Okay? You could have more laps than one. Obviously, you can see there with my pink angle. And with the angles that we're doing, this doesn't necessarily apply in track. You can also go backwards. And if you go backwards like I've talked about, against the grain, that's a negative angle. Like in track, the 100-yard dash would go from the starting line to the finish line. You could get there by starting on the starting line and going backwards around the two curves on the track. That would be a negative angle. Okay? So, how do I find the angle that has a measure of 38 degrees, an angle that's coterminal with a 38-degree angle?
Would you just add 360?
Yes, you would add 360 to the angle. So if you add 360, you get 398. 398 is coterminal with 360. You could also subtract 360 to get one of the negative angles. That angle, negative 322, is what you would get if you stopped, if you went against the grain. It would stop at the 38-degree finish line too. Okay? So you can add 360, subtract 360, add it several times. Okay, here's some other examples. I'm trying to get through this before we run out of time. So you would add 360, you could add it twice. See all those boxed angles? They're all coterminal with 110. All four of them. They all are different distance races, positive and negative, that stop at the 110-degree mark on your circle. Okay? One other thing. They could ask you the same question, but with radians. So I'm not going to add 360 to a radian. What am I going to add to a radian? 2 pi. Because 360 degrees is 2 pi radians. So you're basically adding 2 to 3/5. I do not want it as a mixed number. I do not want it as a decimal. I want 2 3/5 written as an improper fraction, which is 13 pi over 5. You have to know if it's degrees or radians, and if it's degrees, you add or subtract 360, whatever it's telling you to do. And then radians, you add or subtract 2 pi. Subtracting 2 pi would also give you a coterminal angle, which would be negative 7 pi over 5.
How did you get 13 pi?
2 3/5 is the mixed number changed to an improper fraction. Okay, there's another example right there. On the PDF,